Alright folks, and welcome to the dawn of world sports. I am the Donfather, and I'm now going to be doing my second episode of my brand new sports podcast, and it's going to be entitled, Do Sports Stars Get Paid Too Much? Okay, so as you can imagine, I put the questions out there on social media to a vote, and I got quite a decent feedback, but the overriding response was, I basically put the question to the people, do they get paid too much, yes or no? And as I think most people could imagine, the overriding result was that yes, they do get paid too much. And I also put the second question, well, if they get paid too much, should there be a pay cap? Like a level that you get to and you don't go above, like a wage set for each stage, basically, either in a player's career, whether they're a kind of youth breaking into the first team, pay cap there, then they become a senior player team. I don't know how the cap system works. I'm just going to put sort of ideas out there on how it could work, but basically, should there be a pay cap? And yes or no again, and the overwhelming response was yes, there should be. So before I go into any of my opinions, I'll read a couple of comments, just a couple, because I don't want to go into too much comments. So that one on either side of the spectrum here, from the should they or do they get paid too much. One of the subscribers has said, no, not really. If it's rugby, they're injuring themselves to amuse people. So he believes, no, they shouldn't. Or no, they don't get paid too much because they're injuring themselves for people's entertainment, kind of thing. And another comment being, yes, especially NBA, that's basketball in America, players, it's ridiculous they get paid that much. NBA, I believe they can get up to like a couple of $1 million. I'm not too sure if there's a cap on their wages, but they can get a couple of $1 million for running back and forward on a basketball court. It's really, if you're tall, you've got a bit of an advantage. I don't know if there's that much skill in most of the players, to tell you the truth. I'm not a massive fan of basketball. Don't get me wrong, there's skill. I couldn't do it. Plus the fact I'm short, I've probably got a disadvantage already. But if you're tall and you've got a bit of skill about you, I can't imagine it's a sport that would be that hard to get into compared to others. But yes, certainly. So he says yes, they do. And then the other question being, should there be a pay cap? And somebody's put, yeah, it's relative to how much money they make for the organisation they play for. AFL is salary capped alongside the NFL and NBA, so yes, the NBA has a salary cap, whereas other sports don't, kind of a thing. This is more to keep the league fair and teams somewhat even. Great, I like that idea. If more popular teams could pay whatever they want, then they just hoard the talent. I would argue that most players make their money from endorsements and sponsorships that actually playing in some leagues and games. So yes, so they're getting endorsements outside of the salary caps. They're getting endorsements from sponsorship company. They're getting endorsements. They're getting sponsorship deals, whether they're sponsored by Puma, Nike, Adidas, etc. This is out with their wage. But we'll just wait. There's nothing I think if you're a sports star you can do about that. Big brands are gonna want you. It comes with the territory of being a big name in that particular sport. So back onto the pay cap thing then. How would it work? I would basically say if you're up to 21 years old, you're considered a youth, I'd imagine. So up into 21 years old, you get X amount of money. Whether that's 5,000, say it's pounds, and you're in, like, for example, the English Premier League. Not all sports can afford to pay the same sort of money as others. because they generate, the English Premier League, soccer's generating a huge amount of money compared to other leagues in the same sport. Then you've got sports in America, the franchises are in America, whether it's NBA, NFL, NHL, they're getting huge amounts of money. Baseball as well, huge amounts of money that they can pay their players. They're getting astronomical sums, but they have got caps here, which was quite interesting to hear. I know the NFL do that. They like, and they also like have a draft system as well on signing players, which I won't go into. But there's a cap in wages, which I think is great. So how does it work? I'm not too sure how it works in other sports. I'm going to say, for example, on the English Premier League, how should it work then? How should it work? A youth player up until, say, the age of 21 gets, say, £5,000 a week. That's a huge amount of money. I mean, a huge amount of money. And then once you get above 21, you get, say, £10,000 a week for a standard player. Then your wages should go up relatively small amounts, depending on whether or not you're a leader, you're in the captain sort of group, so you're a captain or like vice captain of your team, you get a little bit more. If you're playing in European competitions, you get a little bit more. If you do well in cups, and it should be like sort of based on success on the field as well, and if you're an international player, so you're representing your country, etc. That's how the wages should go, and it should be capped, and it should be governed by, it should be policed and governed by the governing body, which in this case would be the English Premier League. That's how, a rough idea on how a cap should work. I believe they're getting paid far too much money for what they do. Some players are getting like £350,000 per week plus, which is absolutely insane. A lot of the working class people in the UK are probably getting about £350 a week. So you're timesing that by a serious amount what they're getting per week to kick a leather ball about a football field. Yes, it's for people's entertainment. They get people's mind off the bullshit they've had to endure all week. But really, are they that much more valuable in society than what a working class man or woman is? I think not. So, next thing. My opinion on the caps, I've said how I think it should work. Should there be a cap? Yes, I think there should be pay caps, 100%. Because it's fair. It's fair across the board in the league. If you want a strong league, you don't have a club like Manchester City coming out of nowhere with a sugar daddy, a big rich Arab owner, being able to buy all the best players, give the best wages, but basically buying success. There's absolutely no doubt that club did that, so you're avoiding that with a pay cap. No club has an advantage because it's a league rule, wages that get set, and players probably would, if you've got an up and coming great player and a club's, there's a squad of different, there's a load of different clubs going for that player, he probably will go to the club based on success, stature, fan base, etc. It won't be a soulless club like Manchester City coming in with all the money, and a Paris Saint-Germain coming in with all the money, just basically buying success. So on that note, I think player caps is a brilliant idea. We're not going to get into the signing of players. There is already a rule in football, financial fair play, which has been broken time and time and time again, and the sanctions are pretty, against the clubs breaking the rules, are pretty poor, aren't they? So my opinion is yes, they get paid far too much, and there should be pay caps. So the one thing we're going to touch back on the pay caps with the youngsters, it keeps them grounded. You don't have them getting above themselves, thinking that their egos are getting the better of themselves, their heads are swelling, they're getting too big for their own boots, and they're swaggering around. It keeps them grounded. They should be like apprenticeship players, like they used to be, polishing the boots, doing all the duties of all the senior players. I'm not saying they don't do that anymore, but the wages they're getting are keeping them out of touch with the working class human being. So an 18-year-old, right, for my own example, there's an 18-year-old possibly getting £100,000 a week for playing for Liverpool or Manchester United. When I was 18, I was serving my country in Iraq and getting paid £1,300 after tax. on deployment for your country. After tax, I was being taxed and coming away with £1,300, you know, and they're getting maybe £100,000 per week. I was getting that per month. So you can see the difference, and that's going to get on to my point of football players are not vital for society. We do not need them. They don't make the country tick. Yes, they entertain us. Yes, they keep us our head off all the nonsense that we have to endure and work. You have to go to your work to survive, to pay your bills, to buy food, etc., to feed your family. Electric, roof over your head, all that stuff. You need a job. But we don't need football. We do not need football, but it does help keep us sane. So, on that front, does a football player deserve, and this is actually something one of my subscribers and viewers, and actually a friend of the channel has said, do they deserve more than nurses, doctors, paramedics, fire service, police, your security forces, your army, your navy, air force, etc.? All these people who protect us on a day-to-day basis. Do they deserve that much more than these people? Absolutely not. I think it's an absolute disgrace that they get this much. And as I said, I believe they're so far out of touch with normal society now that it actually makes my blood boil. You've got 18 and 19-year-olds swaggering around with all the latest designer gear, going to VIP nightclubs that normal people can't get to, whereas football stars used to sit with the fans after the game in the pubs. I can appreciate it's changed times now, what with social media. The media are looking to hang you for any wrong move you make. But they certainly need to be able to be kept grounded in the sense that they're not that far above the working class man or woman. And I think one of the ways to do that is salary caps. And also things need to be looked at within the clubs, like stopping them from doing certain things that has their ego away up here, like going to all these VIP holidays, etc. You can argue they've earned the right. I don't believe they have. They've not earned fucking shit at this age in their life. They need to prove themselves. Running around a football field, entertaining people is fantastic. But they do not deserve to be swanning around like they're some sort of hero. And whatever they think their life, what they're doing in their life matters to the grand scheme of things, because it actually doesn't. Yes, kids will look up to them, they'll be heroes and idols, but with that they've got a responsibility to behave themselves. Don't get me wrong, see if you're a youngster and you go and do something wrong, you're learning, you're a football player and you're 18, you go and do something wrong, you go get drunk, the media catches you out. I don't give a shit about that. They're young, they're going to make mistakes, I've made plenty of them, I'm not going to judge anyone on that. But having said that, they don't want to be running around with Gucci and fucking Rolex and all these designer gear on. Wear normal clothes, be normal, stop being stuck up your own arseholes. Sign kids' autographs. Don't walk past people as if you're better than them. If somebody says hello to you and your name, oh I love you, what a great player, you stop and you respond, and you show some respect to people who are paying their hard-earned cash to go and support you. And this is going to get on to my final point. Clubs, money. So we've got this industry that's generating loads of money. So American sports brands, NFL, NBA, NHL, the baseball and football. You've got in England, you've got the soccer in Europe. They're generating so much money through merchandise. They're generating so much money through the TV sports coverage, TV games being televised, different competitions. You've got the European football being televised, you've got the English Premier League being televised, then they're televising the World Cup, etc, etc, and it just spirals out of all control. They're televising every tournament they're in. Clubs are getting a healthy amount of money. I mean, clubs in England are getting like 170 million a year just through TV money alone. Then they're getting serious money through merchandise. They're selling at home top at £60–65 plus. How can they justify that? £50 for a kid's top is an absolute fucking disgrace. Should not be allowed to do that. There should be caps on merchandise. There should be caps on ticket sales. You should not be allowed to charge a working class man more than £20–25 for a ticket for going and watching football players running around on a pitch, kicking a ball about. It should not be allowed to happen. It's not life or death what they're doing. Yes, they're entertaining people. We all love sport. I absolutely love sport. But I want to be able to take my kids, my whole family to go and watch the players they love to see time and time again, every week playing. I want to be able to afford to do that. And at the prices that they've got these days, bearing in mind I'm actually supporting a Scottish club which doesn't actually stick the arm in to the working class man as much as English Premier League. How much would it cost for a family of 5 to go and support just the home games and Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City for a season ticket for a family of 5? Thousands upon thousands. That doesn't include the food that they eat, the travel expenses, the whole experience, buying the programmes, the kit that they're wearing on their back. How can these clubs and this league justify, and all these other sports justify, sticking their arm in that much to the working class man? Do you know what? It does boil your piss. The more you break it down, it really, really boils your piss. They should not be allowed to do it. It should be capped. 100% capped across the board. All these things. Shirt sales, merchandise should not be allowed to go above a certain level. It does not cost a little Chinese kid making that sports top in a factory with no rights that much money. It does not cost £60 to make that jersey with shipments, transporting the whole goods, putting it on the shirt. Everybody gets their cut. It does not equate to anywhere near that amount. I would say a £60 top probably costs all in about £3 by the time it's done. All of its stages of the process of making the top, and you're going to slap a £57 profit on that near enough. And that's just for a home top. You've got away tops, third kit tops, and that's just the tops I'm talking about. Then you've got the shorts, the socks, all the other stuff, the training gear that they're trying to force onto you now. If you don't have it, you're laughed at. Everybody's got it these days. It's an absolute disgrace. They're exploiting people. Clubs and leagues need to get their head out of their arse and stop ripping normal people off. It's not fair. And do you know what? If I see that English Premier League, nobody should be paying these Sky deals to watch it. It's a fucking disgrace. As great as the league is, like seriously, Newcastle versus West Ham, I would not get out of my bed to watch that. I wouldn't get out of my bed to watch that. And they're trying to justify these clubs getting £170 million a year just through TV money. And then they're getting more for where they finish in the league. So you as a paying customer, not only are you being ripped off and going to see your team play in the stadium, the merchandise you wear, you're also being ripped off with the TV companies because they're charging you like £20 for English Premier League only on Sky Sports. Then if you want other competitions, you have to go to BT to watch the Champions League, who are charging you about another £20 a month to watch the Champions League or the Europa League. And it just goes on and on and on. So, like somebody says, but the players should get, they deserve, they're the ones entertaining us, they should get a little bit more of it. And I 100% agree with that. If they're the ones generating the money to the sport, they should get the bigger amount, more than people who are just lining their pockets for doing fuck all other than ripping us off. So yes, they're generating money, but regardless of that, I don't think it's right. I think it should be lowered. I mean, half. You look at the Bundesliga in Germany, they're like charging like £9 for match day tickets. It's absolutely brilliant. I think it's a fantastic model. They don't have any, I think you look at Red Bull Leipzig, they're like a franchise club there, and they're absolutely despised in the German league, and rightly so. They should be. Most clubs in Germany are fan owned. The fans, there's like 75,000 paid members that own the club, and they vote in like presidents, etc., to run the normal day-to-day runnings of the club. And they do not rip their fans off like they do in England and in other leagues and in other sports in the world. So it's certainly something I'm passionate about. I think most people should be passionate about it. It's getting beyond a joke. There's no doubt in my mind that you're getting Fire Sticks to watch games, you're getting all these devices to now live stream and not pay these TV companies these money. And you know what? Good! I'm absolutely delighted. Sky Sports, BT Sports, BN Sports, Fox Sports, all these sports companies, TV companies, should not be allowed to charge this amount of money. Yes, they're going, oh, but we're paying this much money for the rights of the TV so you can watch it. But also with that, clubs have put their prices of their tickets up, so you've got no choice. Only rich people can near enough afford to go and watch their team play every single week, home and away in English Premier League. Only people, the working class man sitting in the pub watching it on Sky Sports, because he can't afford the Sky Sports, because it's astronomical prices, and then he can't pick and choose what game he has to watch. He has to watch the game that Sky Sports decided is the one that should be televised. So, all in all, players are getting far too much, but when you break it down why it's happening, all the merchandise, the ticket sales, the TV deals, the sponsorships from the sports brand, all the sponsorships on the jerseys, that it's an absolute money making machine, so they can do what the hell they like. They can abuse the working class man, and do you know what, they're not any better than us. They're just that, like, do you think I'm gonna get all freaking, oh, look at him, there's that player, he's 18 years old, look at him, this next Brazilian kid that's a world beater, he's fucking dribbled it past 8 men and scored a wonder goal. Do you think I'm going to go up to him and go, oh, you're so amazing? Because I'm fucking not. He's 18, it would be thoroughly embarrassing for an adult to be behaving that way over a child because he scored a wonder goal. He's nothing special. Yes, he entertains us, yes, I like them, I respect what they do, they're unbelievably skilled players, and they do deserve the praise, they do deserve good money for what they do, but they do not deserve the money they get. Absolutely not. That's the moral of the story, that's the moral of the podcast, and I think it needs to be addressed, and addressed soon, because it's getting out of all control. As I said, people can't afford the TV deals, they can't afford to go and watch. If your only passion in life is going to watch your team play, but you can't afford to do it, where does it leave you? Where does it leave you? If you followed your club from no age and you went to all the games, but they've priced you out of the game, they've also priced you out of watching it on the TV, where does it leave people? Society. Where does it leave people when their only, like, sort of enjoyment in life, they go to their work 5 days a week, they fucking hate it, but they know on the Saturday, or the Sunday, or the Monday, whatever fucking day the TV companies have decided to put that game on, they can dictate whenever that game gets played. So you might not even be able to get to the game, even if you have saved up your money to get there, because it doesn't suit, because you've got work, because they've moved it to a Monday night. They're not thinking about the working class man shoveling shit 5 days a week, doing a job he fucking hates, purely because he's got one thing on his mind, or she's got on her mind, to get to the football and support their team, and they're being priced out of it. So that's me. I'm leaving it at that with you. It does need to change. It needs to change soon, in my opinion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I think this debate could go boom, and I'm more than happy to do a follow-up video on this, another podcast video on this, because it's an astronomical story once you break it down. It spirals out of all control because money in sport is insane. But ultimately this was about the players and what they get, not necessarily about the clubs. But it all goes hand in hand, doesn't it? Owners, etc. It all goes hand in hand. So let me know, before I rabbit on a little bit too much, what you think about the video, wages, etc. Do they get paid too much? I've said yes. The overwhelming majority of my voters, from subscribers and my social media, have said yes, they get paid too much, and should there be caps? And the overwhelming majority said yes, there should be caps. They shouldn't go above a certain level. How it works remains to be seen, but the majority of the people that are subscribed to me have said yes to both those questions. Thanks very much everyone for watching. I hope you liked episode 2 of the podcast. Straight in, no hugging or kissing, right into the jugular of it all. Do you know what? This is what we need to do. We need to do videos that are real to normal people, what normal people think, and represents sports fans, and not sports TV companies, what they want you to think or say. We need to be talking for the people, for the fans, and that's what I'll try and do on this podcast. I think it needs to be raw and straight to the point, and hard hitting sometimes as well. It does need to be that way to get a response from... I'm not going to go on anymore. I could go on more. I'm not going to go on anymore. We'll leave it for another time. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that notifications bell on right now. Smash it on. because I don't want you to miss any more of our videos. Podcast is going to be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to doing it, talking about real issues in sport. So do put the notifications bell on and you won't miss them. Check us out on our social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, etc. And also other ways in which you can help fund and support the channel. Become a patron. I'm doing patrons only videos and you don't want to miss them. So become a patron to get a chance to see them. Thanks very much, everyone. I am the Donfather, and that was episode 2. Thanks very much, and I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.